Good afternoon indeed, Natasha. The conference will look at issues of international migration. We are seeing the country is moving away from laws dealing with immigration, but they're looking at it holistically, which is the issue of migration, considering the era that we live in of globalization, where people move in and out of countries. The issue of xenophobia has actually been spoken about slightly. You must understand that xenophobia in itself speaks to the issue of movement. So yes, that issue is also being addressed. But we're also seeing the department pulling a balancing act. Like I said, we do live in a very global community. Things have changed with time and the laws must also change to benefit that. But I do have the Minister of Home Affairs, Mr. Malusi Gigaba, to come and actually speak to us about what the policy issues are, what are they proposing in the white paper, the issues that are being discussed here, as you mentioned earlier on, issues of residency, of citizenship, of refugees and asylum seekers. Now, let's welcome our guest, Mr. Gigaba. Thank you so much for talking to us, Honorable Minister. Can you just please tell us, I know that one of the issues that are being discussed is the issue of delinking the relationship between residency and citizenship. Can you just briefly tell us about that?
We are proposing in the white paper that anybody who moves into South Africa on a short-term stay should not have an automatic right of qualification for citizenship. As a result of that, or in order to achieve that, we are proposing, for example, that some of the people could be given much longer residence permits, which would be maybe 10, 20 or even 30 years, because of perhaps the nature of the reasons why they are in South Africa. And if you were to obtain that, it doesn't mean that you then will qualify for citizenship. There will be conditions under which an immigrant can qualify for citizenship. That would include people who came to South Africa as asylum seekers, who, because they can no longer permanently return to the country of origin, the Standing Committee on Refugee Affairs would recommend to us that we should grant them citizenship. Or people who for one reason or the other are related to South African citizens would therefore claim South African citizenship on the basis of kinship, or people who get married to South Africans and after a period of time qualify then to become South African citizens. So there will be a number of people who qualify for citizenship. But what we are proposing quite firmly is a practice which is an international best practice. Other countries practice it already. That the fact that you are an immigrant in the country, you are on short-term stay, which can become prolonged when you extend your stay in the country, it doesn't mean that automatically you will qualify for citizenship.
And could you also speak to us about one of the issues in the paper is the issues of refugees and asylum seekers and the processing centers, as well as the liberalization of travel in Africa for Africans?
The white paper that we are going to take to Cabinet next week it's quite a bold initiative, and it tries to strike a balancing act in terms of managing migration for development, and that's the most important framework. We move from a premise that migration must ensure development, and for it to ensure that, we cannot treat migration in a reactive, laissez-faire manner. We have to manage it and harness its positive effects and harvest its benefits for the country. But at the same time, we must minimize the risks, because we live in a global world where there are still many risks in terms of transnational crimes, in terms of terrorism and other such security risks. It's important for South Africa to look at the national security of the country. But we are also moving towards...
Thank you very much, Natasha. So you heard what the paper entails. It will be in Parliament next week. I'm sure quite a lot of South Africans waiting to see the outcome of the laws that will come from this white paper. Thank you very much.
Mahlako, thanks so much. Mahlako Komani there live from Sandton.